Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be starting with Pheylop. This is Season 0 game. This game is still quite relevant at today's stage because Pheylop will be playing Hunters. Let's have a look over here. We have some of the top world players over here, top 1000 players actually. Pheylop is a world top 500 coin player, and Pheylop also streams. If you want to check out some Pheylop's games, definitely check him out in the link below, and check out Pheylop's streams for asking questions, check out some high rank games, and let's watch Pheylop climb for this season as well. So Pheylop did start with 1 Ranger instead of the 2 Enchantress. We can see the favor for the Hunters. Keep in mind this was before the IO and Dazzle update. There are small adjustments I'll be notifying us along with the game because those adjustments will be relevant for IO and Dazzle and the neutral update. What I can see over here is, like I said, one way of win trick with Scots is Park 2 with Void Stone. I see. And yes, we just had a really nice Scots game before this one, which I'll be posting one for you guys as well. Look at Pheylop's career. It's very unique and I love the cosmetic. Now, although Pheylop did play a Hunter game with this one, he didn't plan to go into Hunter initially. Let's see how he goes. And Hunter builds are quite relevant even in the newest update. And this is why we have today's casting as well. A few things we want to focus is to see what units he picks and why he picks those. I believe he picked the Ranger for positioning for Hunters, maybe a top pickup with Undead like this one. He picked the Enchantress for a top chance of having another Druid to find a 2-star Enchantress. A 2-star Enchantress can be very strong in the early game. Those heals, if they repeat, can be very strong. Look at this. This is Ninja 3. With, he's not too happy about this, I see. So this is Ninja 3, and Ninja 3 did find the 3-star two stars. That's an incredible RNG right there. But we have seen someone finding a 2-star Luna as well at round 3. So usually in this type of games, there are 3 synergies we're looking for. Even in the newest update, we'll be looking for those 3 synergies. One is Undead, one is Goblins, one is Elemental. But one thing for sure though, Pheylop definitely is different from us. Usually I'll be happy with 3 items. He did find like a Christmas tree of items. That's a terrific start for him. One thing I want to see is he going to use the Enchantress or is he going to wait for it? He does have the Sniper. He did use the Enchantress, look at this. So most of us might have waited for the Enchantress for the discount, but now he pick up the Enchantress. Second thing I want to see is how many items he's going to give to the Enchantress. You can always sell the Enchantress for the items after. Now, Hunters is good with Mars. I try to find 3-star Mars for Hunter. That's true, Duck, my friend. So Duck is also a Queen player, and Duck plays a lot of builds very well. Now with the Hunters, Mars is quite nice because you need a good front line. You don't need the front line to do much. Maybe a tiny 2-star is nice, a Mars 2-star is very nice for the Hunter as well. This is a solo tanking Abaddon though. He could do a little more if the Enchantress help him tank a little bit. But because Abaddon is solo tank, maybe Enchantress can do a little more. But the downside is, those are Bat Riders. Those are double 2-star Bat Riders. I think Pheylop is like shaking his head a little bit as well. Because those are some top-notch rolls. Although Pheylop got some good items, his units are not many 2-stars. The Enchantress is like a 2.5 star, a 1.5 star. 2 Bat Rider 2 around 4. Now keep in mind, this is before the Knights changes. A lot of things will be different for Knights. I'll be touching on that for you guys as well. Look at this. Pheylop at Abaddon here. Before the Knights changes, you can have 2 Knights and they will be very strong. With the Knight changes, things will be very different. So I'll be adjusting that and I'll be sharing that with you guys. Very interesting. Look what Pheylop just did there. He sold the Enchantress and he put down a Sniper. That weakens his lineup and it's likely he will go into a losing streak because of that. He bought the Assassins. At this stage of the game, Pheylop is not sure what he wants to go, and the Assassins were quite popular when Pheylop was casting this game, and it is likely he wants to go into Assassins. But I think he didn't check that there's another Assassin player which is much stronger than him at the moment. So it's definitely a losing streak we're looking at. Let's have a look. There's so many top roles on this game and other Queen players say, yeah, get me out of this game. Now, one thing to highlight with Knights is because now there are 3 Knights, the Knights actually become quite strong with 3 Knights compared to 2 Knights, but they're quite weak compared to 4 Knights. The balance is you can have a lineup with maybe 4 trolls and 3 knights with 6 of those units, and you can start saving up. The key thing is to save up early with knights instead of trying to run 4 knights. Use 3 knights and a few other units to save up. The best knights to pick up are Abaddon, Oni Knight, and then maybe followed by a Luna or a Chaos Knight. Abaddon and Oni Knight are 2-star quite strong. You can also pick up Undead as in terms of Draw Ranger and Necromancer. Now, what we want to focus is the fact how Pheylop is going to fare. It's likely Pheylop is going to have a long time with a losing streak because he doesn't have any 2-stars, and those are not even hunters. Those are just very weak 1-star archers. And because of that, oh, Pheylop did kill 1 though. I'm pretty happy for him. He might not. Nah, he didn't do well because... Oh, is he going to do well? Look at the Abaddon. This is something I want to highlight, the comparison. This will be a great game for us to touch the difference between the previous knight and the current knight. The previous knight gave a fixed amount of the armor and fixed amount of the magic resistance. The current knight did give something else. It gives damage reduction. In comparison, the current knight is so much weaker than the previous knight, because previous knight, they are pretty much about 60 or 70% magic and physical resistance when the shields are procced. With the current knight, when the shields are procced, you only get a 35% damage reduction. So that means you still take a majority of the damage instead of just having no damage received at all. Look at this, Pheylop changed again. So instead of going with the knights, he went into the... What is this? This is a Shadow Thing and a Slaughter. He's not deciding a lot, but the highlight here is he's deciding to go with a losing streak. With a losing streak, you want to focus on few units as possible, and you want to make the 10 multiples of 10s of gold. It is likely he sells the PA or he buys the PA. Let's see what he does. He won here. How did he win? That's not good. That's actually terrible for him, because winning here means he doesn't have a losing streak, and there are so many top role players, they're going to be finding him. He's going to lose again. So that all is I'm going to have to force gods just to see how I like to play with them. Yeah, the gods are quite strong. And to force gods with the newest update is to buy Dazzle. Dazzle allows you to play so much better and get so much more HP. And Dazzle with gods in the late game means you're incredibly strong, and most of the time you will not be dying as well. It's like immortal units as well. Now, follow up with the knights. Some of the top knights pick up, well, he sold the Shadow Thing. He bought the Moth Thing. Sorry, he didn't buy the Moth, he bought the Windrunner. Because Windrunner with a mana gain item can do more AoE damage than Shadow Thing, and has a little more HP, but Shadow Thing is quite strong with his demon power as well. Awkward thing for Pheylop here is he's facing players who are incredibly strong. 2-star Luna, 2-star Mars, and and they're not too happy. They're not too happy about the other players top rolling. To focus on the knights, having 3 knights means we could run 1 knight as Abaddon with another undead to start things off. Then we want a 2-star Chaos Knight, 2-star Luna, maybe a 2-star even Bat Rider. Having 3 knights is considered quite strong compared to before, because the knights do proc at a higher rate. Before, knights used to proc at 30%, now they proc at 40%. Pheylop is so mixing with his lineup right now. And you can see here, he is looking at the beast, and he might even look at warriors. He can't fit the warrior unless he level up here. Now, does he want to level up or does he want to save? The focus on the Templar Assassin, I was going to say, the focus on the Templar Assassin is too far. He can't find the Assassins, and it's too far for him to go into Assassins. It's better for him to go into Warriors, and maybe later follow up with the Hunters. The key with focusing build is that to find some crucial build. Here over on the chat we're discussing about Gods Mages. Our good friend Duck did mention that for him to force Gods Mages is when he finds enough mana gain items like Void Stone and Crown. And for me with Gods Mages is when I find a 2-star Mars, multiple Crystal Maiden, Puck or Razor. I like to have a lineup set up ready, and I like to be rolling, I like to be spending for those units knowing I can find a few more. Also the key will be also a Dazzle. A Dazzle here allows any lineup that matures a little slower to find a mark. What that means is you can use the Dazzle to lose a bit, gain a losing streak, then come back with a stronger mid-game lineup. And because of that, you could be so much stronger. Looking at Pheylop over here, Two things probably going through his mind. One is that he wants to run a losing streak, or at least he wants to build an economy. Running a losing streak is not that strong because he did win a few times during his runs. Building up an economy means he's likely to go to 50 gold, and then he's going to start spending. This is very similar to any of the patch, and even in the newest patch, we should be doing this as well. Because at this stage, if you don't build an economy and get your power spikes faster than other players, it's likely you're going to lose more. And on average speaking, it's better to be on the top of the leaderboard over here or on the bottom of the leaderboard with better economy. What I want to see is what are the spending, saving, and rolling curves or timings for Pheylop. It's likely he will save up to 50 gold before he spends any gold, and he'll only buy some crucial units. Over here, if he sold the natural profit, he still can't make the gold. I'm sure he's counting his gold as well, but he has to sell it more. So natural profit is 4, starter is 6, that's 35 gold. If you sell the Tusk, Vandal, and Enchantress, he can make another tier of gold. But that means he loses his chance of finding a 2-star Tusk. So, over here, the chat is still discussing about God's Mage. We're discussing using Puck and Zeus. We have seen one game when our friend Duck also accidentally sold his 3-star Razor, and by selling that, he kept his Puck. Interestingly enough, in the late game, he put down a 2-star Enigma instead of the Razor, which the Enigma was casting at 5-second interval with the Midnight Pulse. That's a 2-star Enigma casting at 5 seconds with Zeus and Mars on the board. I think that opens up more options for us because Enigma is such a strong unit in the late game, and if we can have him instead of Razor and still have the mages, we can be so much stronger. This is the first time that Pheylop found Hunters again. He did have Hunters with the Windranger, but now with the Windranger and Beastmaster, he can look into Hunters. Those are big knights, and those are big Troll knights actually. Now remember, Pheylop did want to go into Assassins, but there were at least 1 or 2 Assassin players already, so he didn't go into Assassins. Now, looking around, there's no Hunters, I believe. He's going to Hunters. I was going to say, I wonder if he sells those, and he did sell them. It's nice he finds more gold because it's the economy that can get him back into the game. So the question we have with the frontline, I think it was addressed onto the God's Mage. For the God's Mage frontline, usually Mars is the ideal frontline. You could run 2 demons with a Doom, and as a demon can be a Queen of Pain, can be a Shadow Thing. And other frontlines can be things that's quite tanky for the early game. That could be Timbersaw and Clockwork. Those 2-star units do really enjoy the lower CD, and they can be quite strong with the shorter CD because they take damage, they cast spells, their spells can stun or AoE, and they have decent HP to pool at 2-star to cast multiple spells. In the mid game for the God's Mage lineup, a second Mars would be nice, or maybe you can run things like a 2-star Dazzle next to him. So when Dazzle's about to die, it's likely he'll protect himself and someone else. For God's Mage, I feel you want to delay the fights as long as you can. The longer you delay the fights, the more spells you'll cast repetitively with your stuns, with your healings, and with your AoEs. Look at that Tiny. That Tiny stormed and stunned AoE wise with 3 of the archers. Tiny is quite strong in my opinion. He is my A rank unit because if he gets the right stun and right positioning, he can do a lot. That Tiny Toss is a 2-second AoE stun and 200 damage, and that is very strong. Looking over here, Pheylop won. So that means Pheylop doesn't have a losing streak, but Pheylop have a great economy. We can see Pheylop is level 5 with over 50 gold. What that means is Pheylop is going to look for a good transition. There are a few transitions with Hunters. One is Warriors, which Pheylop have kept a few. The other one is Knights. Looking over here, this is the first difference between the current patch and the previous patch. 2 Knights will work here, but in the current patch, he will need 3 Knights. What that means is Pheylop in the most recent patch, it's likely he will take down the Tiny for the Bat Rider for the 3 Knights, but there's no need to rush that because Tiny is a 2-star, and we just saw how strong Tiny is. If Tiny throws the Dragon Knight back, it would be so strong. Downside with Tiny is if it's no one to throw, he will cast his spell emptily. Over there you saw he cast the spell empty and he did not throw anything. And those bounces, guys, those lunar bounces are so painful. Now in the latest patch, If you want to run Hunters and Knights, I will not recommend that unless you get a top row of few units. But if you are going to run Hunters and Knights, 2-star Beastmaster is a must, followed by 2 of the Undead, Joranger, and Abaddon. After that, a Windrunner is very good. And then you want not Luna, you want only Knight, Chaos Knight, and the Abaddon as the 3 Knights. Why is that? Because those kind of combinations allows you to find your 6 units super early and start saving for your mid-game economy. And after that, what you'll be going into is a dominance if you find enough 2-star Knights and Hunters, and then you can proceed with adding additional units. You can swap the Windrunner with a Medusa, or you can keep going further by finding your 2-star units into 3-star. For example, Chaos Knight is one of them, definitely good frontliners and very strong unit to be found as 3-star. Now, in the previous patch, there was no voice warning for dwarves. Very nice, now there's a warning for dwarves, and most players can react against the dwarves. So he's good until around 18, 19, I see. So, usually with the units, there's a few power spike curves we'll be looking at. One of the power spike curves is around 17. Let me see if the players subconsciously act on that, or players changes their mind. That's a top pickup by Pheylop. Now he has the 2 Knights. Over here, the 2 Knights is not stronger than the 3 Knights in the current patch, but they're still quite tanky. For Hunters particularly, you want tanky units in the front line. And usually the best tanky units are Warriors for the current patch. They will be Conquer, they will be Doom, and sometimes you can even run a 2 or 3-star Axe or Tiny. Usually if I run Axe or Tiny, I do plan to get them into 3-star. Now, looking over here, Beastmaster is favored over Sniper. This is a personal preference by Pheylop. Sometimes I'll take the Sniper here because I already have 3 decent frontline. There's no need for a little Beastmaster. But if it's a 2-star Beastmaster, he will always go there because his AoE is amplified by the axes and wrong way. His AoE axis is amplified by the Undead Aura, and he will do 17% more damage because of having the Undead Aura. -4 armor is reduced armor by 17% for most units, and this is where the numbers are coming from. So over here, we can see that there is no clear win streak leader, and a lot of players will go into level 7. Why is that? This is round 17, and usually this is the uncurved leveling for a lot of players. You can see here, everybody except Pheylop is going to level 7. Pheylop may be going to level 7 as well. There you go. Everyone and their friend went to level 7 for 2 reasons. Because you want to be uncurved with the leveling. He can take the tiny back and put on a task. But there you go, he can have the beast as well. Uncurved leveling is that at the multiples of 4, if you spend 5 gold, it just perfectly levels you up, or spend 10 or 15 gold. You might be wondering, why is Pheylop positioned like this? I think he's positioned like this for 2 reasons. One is that they are assassins, and the second thing is it does favor the hunter if he brought up in the corner. Now we do see he is winning and losing a bit of his fights. There's a few reasons to that. He's winning because the warriors and knights are quite tanky, and the hunter does a great damage with undead. And also he has some crucial 2-star units, which is Lycan, Chaos Knight, and Abaddon. The downside for this particular matchup is that Pheylop does have lower health, and that means he does not have enough space to be rolling for 3-star units. Unless he finds multiple 3-star units, it will be a little harder for him in the late game. What I do want to suggest is always be prepared to replace the Windrunner with Medusa. No matter how nice the Windrunner is, a Medusa in the late game just gives you so much control, and that will be such a difference maker. So if we're asking for the best synergy, there are a few synergies in the early game. The best ones are actually goblins, elementals, and undead, followed by maybe warriors and orcs. But why is undead so good is because all units does physical damage, and if you can amplify the physical damage, means they can do so much more damage, and that is not neglected by armor. The 10% damage buff with beast is reduced by armor, because if you do 10 damage, if you do additional damage, you hit the enemy, it still get reduced by percentage wise by the armor. But if you reduce the armor, you amplify damage that is almost like pure damage. Pheylop is staying on level 7. He is quite content to stay on level 7. The next thing I'll be looking at is to see if he go further. He did level. Usually I want to see players go to level 8 and start lock and roll. Lock onto level 8 onto 50 gold and start rolling. There's 2 times when I won't be staying on level 50 gold is when I need multiple units to 2-star. For example, if I have a Chaos Knight, Tusk, and also Windrunner at 1-star, I might even roll down to 30 gold or 20 gold because of that. Other times, when I'm missing 1 Medusa for 2-star Medusa, or I'm just looking for that crucial unit, I might be rolling down to 20 or 30 gold. Because in the current meta, it's so aggressive. In this meta of the Queen game, it is quite aggressive as well, but players do tend to favor saving more. You can see over here. In the current meta, players tend to spend a little more after the new update, and they tend to even roll down to 20 or 30 gold. I do favor the aggression, because the more aggressive they are, it's likely you have higher HP to play around with, to even adjust your positioning, and to compete with those players in the late game. Coming top 4 is the key for us. So, what I would like to see is the intention of Pheylop side. The intention here is to go to level 8. After that, it's likely he's going to lock and roll at level 8. Then what are the top pickups? If we're here, what we planned is we will think what unit can we pick up that can help our lineup. One unit I can think of is the Tide Hunter. Another one is Medusa. Because by going level 8, those are the top pickup for hunters. Other than that, I might be looking around to see if they're mages. You can see clearly there's a God's Mage. Actually, that's a mage. That's a Goblin Mage. That's actually that's a Mars Mage, not a God's Mage. Seeing 2 mages, you might want Nagas as well. But the biggest highlight is Assassins are maturing. Assassins do mature around 15 to around 26. And this is the time that we take so much HP from us. Assassin will take so much HP from us if we don't position properly with us hunters. The problem with hunters is that most of your lineup is picked as tanky frontlines and focus hunters in the backline. Your hunters are your major source of damage, and if you don't have enough damage, what's likely going to happen? Oh, that's a top pickup, Beastmaster. regardless of everything else, that Beastmaster is a massive pickup. He did forget, did he? Oh no. Oh, I forgot he already have a 2-star Beastmaster. That's like quadruple pickup. he turned on his RNG accelerator and things just came to him. What I was going to say is, I fully forgot what I was going to say after seeing all those good pickups. What I was going to say is with Assassins, if they take your backline, then your frontline don't do much damage, and then you lose massively. Because usually with a normal fight, is that the frontline versus each other, the frontline dies a bit, then the backline goes out in an all-out war with each other. But with Assassins, after taking your backline, you lose massively after that. This goes the same with mages. If you're not prepared with mages like this one, they'll take your frontline and your backline with a burst damage. So you're actually not trading them with them and not losing like 5 or 6, you're losing 10 or 15 HP. This is why mages and assassins are so scary in the mid game. Oh, that's a Windrunner. It might be a little bait with the Windrunner though, I have to say. Windrunner is definitely getting expired soon. I feel that Windrunner is great from round 4 to round 26, but after that she becomes a little weaker. Now notice again, the positioning here is to protect against assassins. Windrunner is in the corner so she can get AoE damage to most of the units if possible. Now, the highlight here is Pheylop is keeping snipers. In my personal preference, I feel that sniper is not the best hunter for us, similar to Marana, simply because they do not provide enough for us. Both are single target damage dealers, and one is very delayed. So my bottom two rangers are actually Sniper and Marana. Usually I prefer Marana over Sniper if I have 3 elves, or Sniper over Marana if I have no other choices. Now Pheylop's looking around. This is before the new interface was produced. Now with the new interface, there's a button down here that you can find more units. This is something I want to see. Is Pheylop going to buy the Medusa? Yes, he bought the Medusa. Second thing is, one thing I teach in my Hunter's Guide is to replace the Medusa with Windrunner. Here, replacing the Medusa with Windrunner give us less damage. But what that gives us is the crown on the Windrunner and also the control that we much need with Hunters. Hunters are squishy because most Hunters have low HP. You want to protect your front line with a great controller with Medusa, Conquer, and Tidehunter. Ooh, that's a good old Knight. We don't see those often now because Knights has fallen off massively in the latest patch. In the latest patch, to play Knights, you really do need 6 Knights with a bit more to that. The Knights can still be strong. Knights are actually even stronger in the early parts of the games, but they fall off so much quicker. And because of that, you can still make Knights work if you find 2 or 3-star Knights very fast. 2-star Knights will be before round 20, and 3-star Knights will be before round 30. That's when you become super strong with Knights. And having those units, the 6 Knights actually enables all your other units to be super tanky, which is a plus. Because there's so many mages running around, there's 6 mages, there's elemental mages, there's also the gods mages running around. No, don't use it. No, Pheylop, sniper is a trap. He got fully baited, I'll say. No, it's a personal preference. I feel sniper is such a trap. Now what he's gonna do? He's gonna sell the Deucer? He's gonna level up, is he? Oh, he saw the task. He saw the task and like it. He's fully committed into the Knights now by the looks of it. And the sniper here, look at the positioning of the Hunters. The positioning of the Hunters is nice here because they actually block the Assassins. But if this was positioned a little different, or if Assassins jumped a little differently, they would have lost so much bigger here. Even though the position was nice, he did not do enough damage because a part of the units were distracted by the front line. The other part was getting killed by the back line. Yeah, Tusk is a little unfortunate because Tusk is a beast. Usually in most lineup, this is when we discuss about the gods. Tusk is a beast, and because Tusk is a beast, you can't have Lycan, you can't have Lone Druid or Venomancer. Venomancer is a nice warlock to have with the gods lineup because you can have the 3 warlocks as Necromancer, as Venomancer, and maybe Enigma, or maybe another unit, say even Alchemist at the start. You can then swap them around, and by adjusting, you can have 3. Pheylop's changing for the Hunters, by the way. You can have 3 of the warlocks because there are at least 6 warlocks in the game, and as long as you don't clash with the races of the unit, say you have 2 undead, you should be okay with the gods. And gods can really enjoy the lifesteal with the spells. Notice Pheylop's sticking to the corner. This allows his units to tank for the assassin a little bit, but if you want a similar but a different position against assassins, definitely check out my guide, or I'll be attaching below to how to position against assassins as Hunters. The key thing here with Hunters is that your crucial Hunters should not be on the last line or should not be on the second line. You should be on the third line where the Droranger is, where the Chaos Knight is. If you're positioned into that particular way, you can actually block a few of your crucial units in the back line as the melee units. If you block your melee units, they will tank up and they will fight the enemy in the back line. Pheylop found a big pickup. This is round 26. This is something I want to highlight. He stayed on level 8 for the longest time. He found a big pickup. Now he is quite comfortable. He needs one more big pickup, which is the Chaos Knight. Finding those 2 to 3-star means he has so much comeback potential. If we remember earlier, Pheylop was not in the best position, but because he has been winning, most other players were losing to his level. Now if you know what counters mages, it is still Knights, but now Nagas counter mages even further, I feel. Because Knights takes the damage from mages, they can't dish it back. With Nagas, if Medusa takes the damage from the mages and she can dish back with a stun, mages are sitting ducks first. So, can you go 3 mages and 3 warlocks with gods? I believe you can, my friend. One, you could go with a Venomancer, Witch Doctor, and then you can go with the Shadow Thing on Necromancer. The Shadow Thing is undead. Oh, Pheylop found the 3-star Chaos Knight as well. Look at that. Double 3 stars. This is the lock and roll phase, and this is so crucial for you to find 3 stars to make yourself stronger. I'll put down Medusa, but he did put down Alchemist here. Now, to go with the warlocks with the gods, you can have the Venomancer, Witch Doctor, followed by the Necromancer. Those are the basic ones. You can go into demons, but you need 2 demons. You can go into enigmas, but you can't have the Razor. I personally like the 2-star Enigma over the Razor actually, because 5 seconds CD with 90% pure damage AoE over 10 seconds, it's incredible. I have seen our friend Duck playing against around 40 trolls with a 2-star Enigma. The trolls actually died within 12 seconds because Enigma casted, 2-star Enigma casted, everything died super fast. The buff to Enigma is so strong. Hey there, Alogid. Hey man, I was just watching your latest Dazzle video and thought about what I think might be a good strategy. In that video, you get a really early Dazzle. What if you went open fort with only Dazzle on the board? That way you have 20 more HP to work with. What do you think? That is a lot of the good strategies, my friend. I'm glad you saw that as well. The Dazzle strategy is quite nice because you can go only for open fort, or you can still play with your units but try to have a losing streak. You don't have to take all your units back, you can take a few back. Or maybe you just weak enough so you can build up the game. The key is to try to not purposely lose too much. What do I mean is, if I have a lineup, say mages, say trolls and warriors, that things that's going to use Dazzle as well. If I have those lineup, I can afford to lose a bit because I know I'll be stronger. If you're purposely losing without a plan with a build, it is likely you'll still lose, but you can't transition in the mid game. This is what happened to me. I tried to go trolls and assassins. Although having a Dazzle, I did get great economy, then I have to switch for things, because assassins and trolls are not very great. And before I know it, I didn't have a good transition and I started losing pretty quickly. So it is a great plan to go in a losing streak with the Dazzle, but the key here is to have a mid game and the late game plan third. So just combine. So yeah, last game had IO2. Yes, we did see Lycan who was playing with us. He had a IO2 as well. He combined with 2 of his Timber Saws to make a 3-star Timber Saw, which is massive. Now coming back to Pheylop's game, it is getting very close. The game is close for 2 reasons. One is this mages. If you don't win against mages, you lose massively. The second thing is there's different unit compositions that can burst down people. There's assassins, there is the knights, which are quite strong. You can see the dragons and knights, and you can see the elves. That Trim Protector is not dying. Pheylop's not too happy about the Trim Protector. That Trim Protector is massive because he's physically, almost physically immune, and followed by the... Oh, he died. Just when we say he's not dying, he died. That Trim Protector was massive, but the downside is the knights are so much stronger before this patch change. Having the dragons and knights means you almost have a really strong front line with the 6 knights. Now at this stage with the change, even having the dragons and the knights with the 6 knights, there's a small chance of you not proccing the shield, making you slightly weaker. The upside is your other units are a little tankier because they have 35% to proc the shield. What I want to see is Pheylop is still on level 8. When does he go to level 9? This is actually quite ambitious to be sitting on level 8 for this long. He has found 2 of his 3 stars. It will be hard to find the last Windrunner. If he goes up further, he's got a higher chance to find a Tidehunter and Medusa. But if he does not, it is likely he's sitting on too much gold and one loss could be too massive for him. Someone lost the lizards. Pheylop's so happy because every time you come top 4 in a rank game, you actually get a rank up. There you go, Pheylop levels up. Very interesting, right? Because you want higher risk of things, and lastly, you want a crucial upgrade. And Lich is definitely one for 2 things here. Lich is the 4th undead. Having 4 undead means you amplify your physical damage dealt. What I want to see is if Pheylop will put the Chaos Knight or the Beastmaster to the backline, because there's still assassin players out there, and his position is opening himself wide for the assassins. That's a dragon player. You do not want to face the dragon player front down, even after newest update, because the Dragon Knight will splash onto most of your units this way. If you're far away, you can use your range to your advantage. Of course, the upside with Pheylop is his double 3-star units are massive. The Chaos Knight and the Beastmaster is very big. If you're wondering if you want to replicate Pheylop's strategy with the current patch, you will need 3 Knights. This will make your frontline tankier. You can have 1 less Windrunner over here. Having 1 less Windrunner will reduce a little physical AoE damage, but it is so much better. Because 3 Knights are quite tanky, and then you can try to switch them as well. I'd like to see if Pheylop will swap the Windrunner for the Tidehunter, or is he going to favor the damage from the backline? That's another Windrunner, that's another Tide. Oh, he's going to start to do this? No, don't do it. He wants the Jorringer, so he has to sell the Loser. He also is greedy for the 3-star Windrunner. Oh, that's such a low HP pool to play around with. So, one of the questions on the viewers is, does Wisp fight? Yes, a 1-star Wisp I believe have 50 damage, 0 armor, and he's only an elf. He doesn't have a class. He haven't job changed. He's like a novice. Wisp will fight for you. I don't think he's the best unit to fight, and in the early games he's a little awkward. But if you put him on the board, he can still fight for sure. You can make him your 6th elf as well. Coming back to this game, as we draw closely, Pheylop has depleted all his economy at level 9. That means it's almost unlikely Pheylop will get to level 10. He will be running at level 9 for a few things. One is the Draw Ranger. One, oh, what is he planning? He saw the Windrunner. He wants the roll for the draw. He's so desperate for the Draw Ranger because he's one missing to a 3-star Draw Ranger. After, oh good, he's putting a tank to the backline. Because you want a few tanks against assassins, maybe he can put a few more. What I recommend is to have this formation a little changed. Instead of having Beastmaster and Chaos Knight both at the front, maybe he can one to the backline. But of course that makes him a little weaker against other players. It's likely if Pheylop comes a little further, if other players die, he will adjust according to the players that's left. Ooh, the Knight player died. Interesting. So there are 3 players left. I can see assassins. Oh, he saw the Doozer. He would love the 2-star Doozer though. 3 triple Marana. Don't get baited, guys. Marana is quite weak at this stage of the game, and 6 hunters are just not the top-notch ones for now. Even after the newest update, 6 hunters is not recommended because you lose so much control. There you go, Draw Ranger found. Now, what I think Pheylop can decide is when does he want his Tide Hunter, and how is he going to use his Tide Hunter. A 2-star Tide Hunter is definitely better than Windrunner. Personal preference, I prefer control instead of additional DPS. That is with a sniper as well. Did you see that Phantom Assassin, guys? That Phantom Assassin is a 3-star Phantom Assassin with a Mass of Madness and also with a Moonshot that is made with double Hyperstone. But Pheylop had a tank in the backline, and for this engagement he actually almost won. You can't beat the Evasion Templar though. So Pheylop lost his win streak here. The game is neck and neck right now. 16, 18 and 20%. Now if we had a Dazzle here, things would be so different. Someone with a Dazzle would be at least sitting at 30 or 40% because of that. Doug said, one of the bad mistakes of Hunter player is to put all the Hunter in the backline. You need to put stack Hunters in straight line like Pheylop do. That is true, my friend. That is very true. I'm glad you highlighted it. And now look at this. Pheylop is positioning for the dragon, if you're wondering. You do not want to position like this against the assassins. So what is wrong with that PA? That PA is hitting into the light speed, if you're wondering. That PA is a very strong PA. Not only she has quadruple critical rate, but with that attack speed and lifesteal, she can sustain herself if she keeps attacking. And she also has elf evasion. But for the hunters, it's kind of okay with a person with a pierce of evasion. Oh, it's so painful for Pheylop to see the Draw Ranger. Notice Pheylop has exhausted his economy. He cannot go to level 9 anymore. As a personal preference, usually if I'm as low as him, I'll do the same. In other cases, what I'll do is I'll try to save up some health. I'll try to save up some gold with the health I have and to go to level 10 to open up one more spot with an extra rate of finding units. When would I do that is with HP about 35%, I'll try to do that. But when HP is below 20%, I'll do what Pheylop does as well. Again, this is the Dragon player. This time the Dragon player proved on a lot of his units at the start. That Beastmaster though, he single-handedly slayed the Dragon. If the Dragon survived, it would be so different. Oh, Pheylop's checking. It's gonna die? No, the Knight player survived here. I think the Assassin player is gonna be a big challenge for both of them because how strong the Templar is. And Duck is mentioning this particular position with Pheylop also allows for focus fire. Indeed, because more narrowed the angle is of engagement, the harder it is for the enemies to get to you from a wide range, and also it is harder for the enemy melee units to get all their hands on you. Notice the Chaos Knight at the back to protect him against assassins. When there are only 3 players, the game actually alternates between the players you match up, so you can always change your position against the knights than against the assassins here. This is what we did in one of our games as well, which was very successful for most of the extent. For this particular engagement, I felt that Chaos Knight could be a little to the back where the second windrunner is, so he can be blocked in the back line. And that Thunder Assassin did lie though, but that Morphling took both of those units home. And because of that, Pheylop is losing slowly. Both players are losing quite a bit, and that is no good. Simply because right now a sudden death situation would occur for two reasons. One is you lose massively. The other one is that it is a bad matchup because Pheylop is changing for the Knight player. Now the next matchup, if he finds the Assassin player, things will be different. The Knight player is also adjusted for the Assassin player. If he finds Pheylop, things will be very different as well. So you do want to adjust for different players, but sometimes with a slight small chance, you face a different matchup. If the Knight player found Pheylop, it's actually quite hard for him. Pheylop found a Knight, very good. So he was prepared for the Knight if you're wondering. Now, I wonder if the Knight player found Pheylop. So Pheylop was so prepared for the Knight, they got shredded very quickly. The Lich is a great counter for the Knights, because without attack speed, they pretty much sitting ducks for them. Oh, the Knight player did find the Assassins. Notice again, he adjusted for the Assassins. Look at those crits. The Phantom Assassin is basically dancing at him. She found another Hyperstone, guys. She's stacking her attack speed even further. Yeah, those things are melting, guys, for sure. Now, if all three players survive after the chore, there will be a lot of item pickup, and because of that, things are going to get even more interesting. We do remember Pheylop picked up a lot of good items at the early stage of the game, but now he's not finding a lot of items. Again, he's adjusting for Assassins. Notice each of the alternating round, you face a different enemy when there are only 3 players. There you go, he found an Assassin. Let's have a look at his tree. Oh, the Abaddon went in. He never came out. Look at that Chaos Knight. He did his job by blocking the enemy. Now Pheylop units can focus on each of them. Unfortunately, that Templar actually took so much damage, so tanky to kill. And it's one more Templar. He's got 2 Templar. And again, each point of HP is so crucial. Pheylop is losing slowly. 7%, 5%, and 18%. Assassin player have defeated all of them. So that means he's definitely in the running for the leading position. What I might want to see Pheylop try to take out a sniper or take out a windrunner to try to go in for a Doom. Oh, sorry, not for a Doom, for a Tide Hunter. Tide Hunter can be so interesting for him because if he casts, it's a guaranteed win. But it's not about the winning, it's about killing the enemy. If on your offense he casts, that can be a surprise factor for the Assassin player or for the Knight player. They might lose massively because of one crucial stun. This is why control is so important in the late game. Funny enough, all 3 players here do not have the heavy control with Medusa, Conquer, or the Tide Hunter. Pheylop does have them, though. Is he going to make it? He needs to kill 1 more, I believe. He killed 1 more? Can he kill 1 more? It's on 7%. Each troll takes 6%, I believe. So if he kills 1 more, he should be secured. There you go. 1 troll is like red, 1 troll is white. Pheylop's opening his arms wide. It's okay. It's going to lose 6. There you go. Because each troll takes 3 health with the big trolls. Is this replay as bit? Yes, this is the replay. This is the previous season replay with Pheylop as the top world 500 queen. Wow, look at that Morphling. Jojo is definitely going places. Pheylop did not change in time for the Assassins. That's not the best thing. He did just meet the Assassins, I believe. He is okay, he's changing. He didn't get the Necroing, but it's okay. It's likely he'll actually face a Knight player over here. Oh, Assassins. Luckily he changed, you see. Chaos Knight was blocked. That was so crucial, and the Knight player died to the trolls. So this is the fight between Pheylop and the Assassin player. He just melted. So, I'm going to pause over here. This is the end of the game. There's a few highlights. If we go back here a little bit. So, I'm actually go back here a little bit. So, for the longest time, before round 40, the players are pretty even because the Assassin player was killing them slowly. What is killing Pheylop and what is killing the Knight player is the Templar that survived to the end or a burst damage with Phantom Assassin. In those situations, sometimes you don't want to make a drastic move simply because you want to be top 2 instead of top 3. If the lineup works against one player, you keep using the lineup. But after the night player died, what we might have done is we can try to use the Tide Hunter and Medusa. Here the Sniper and Windrunner really do fall off in a late game when they're only 2-star. Lastly, we do remember the Assassin player have multiple 3-stars because he was in the lead for so long. I want to highlight here, if you were to play Assassins, look at the level of the Assassin player. He stayed on level 8 because Assassins do not need legendaries, unless it's a new legendary to come. And because of that, he can roll a lot of his units because he doesn't have waste gold to level up. But if he needs to, he can go to level 9. Over here, he was confident enough to not go to level 9. We do see more Assassins stopping at 9 as well. Okay, thank you so much guys for watching this particular replay guide of the coin rank player with a hunter and a losing streak. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you want to support me further, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. To support me on Twitch, please follow, and please use your Twitch primes here. Thank you so much guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take care my friends.